And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Chip and the gang, or Chip and the crew. And we want to welcome everybody back to the Tom and Terry Corner.
Yeah, right. Thanks,
Hey,
JP.
Terry, rope course.
Well, I know. I get tired. I get tired of coming in there every week trying to fix Tom. Every week I have to do this. Now I wonder how come them kids struggle at Burns when they have Tom Cinephonic. Oh, never mind.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a reply. I just tell you, when you go to West Lincoln and just mention Terry Reinhardt's name, and when you read the expression on people's faces, it's the same as our faces in here on Saturday morning.
You know what they tell you, Tom? Overall,
What do they tell you?
when you listen to that man, he's going to tell you directly what he thinks, and I don't know whether you're
Yeah,
going to like what he says
what he thinks.
or not, but
Hey, I'll tell you what you think. Now we won't deny that, but he's going to tell you what they think.
So not much basketball news. We'll hit basketball real quick. I sent and forgive me, folks. I was trying to see if I could get the internet connection to shows for those of you streaming and watching online, but I'm not able to do it. I sent a text out last night to we have a little group chat with folks on the show, Kevin, Tom, Terry, myself, Zach, and sent an image of the Mount Rushmore of each position on the court for basketball in NBA history. And we just started a little bit of a debate in terms of most of us were fairly okay, I think, with the point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. We got much more debate when we started getting to power forward and center, I think. So point guard, we'll run down this position by position. Point guard, I see the Mount Rushmore and this is not mine. I found this online for the record. Some of these I might agree with, but this was not something I put together. Mount Rushmore of point guards in NBA history. You got Magic Johnson, Stephen Curry, Isaiah Thomas, and Oscar Robertson. I think that's I don't have much of an issue with that. The one thing I think Zach brought up, and I think Terry might agree with this, do you put Stephen Curry in the point guard category?
I question that because a lot of times I see Draymond bringing up the ball. And I'm not saying Draymond's your point guard. No, that don't even consider in this. But a lot of times it's not Curry who brings the ball up.
Do you really consider him a two?
I would. I mean, he is a shooting guard. He's going to shoot before he passes. A point guard to me is somebody who makes other people good. I mean, that's how I look at it. He's going to make everybody around him. That's his job.
Mm-hmm. So what now Isaiah, though, was the leading scorer for his team in at least one of their championship runs.
And when you go back to that team,
mm-hmm.
that team was so fluid. And then if you start naming their 5 starters,
mm-hmm.
you wonder, how in the world did they not score? How come Isaiah had to be the leading scorer? Because the other people around him, if you think, each one of them had their own identity.
Mm-hmm.
Rodman, he's going to play defense. He's going to rebound.
He's the best rebounder in NBA history, probably. So.
Bill Laimbeer, he was his own man.
Was a bully.
That's
bully.
his whole job.
That's basically.
You put me on the other best guy, and I'm going to make him so mad that he can't play.
Yeah.
Now, Joe Dumars fit right in.
Well, with the way that Chuck Daly set that lineup up, most of the time, it was very the points came from the backcourt.
Yeah,
because so much of the front court were your enforcers and were your defensive basically stalwarts. And so I think so much of the scoring had to come from Isaiah and from Dumars.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I have a hard time. I get yours and Zach's point. I just have a hard time labeling Steph Curry as a two. I just think he's he has probably, in terms of outside shooting, transformed the game as much as any other player, especially recently in the past 25 years. He's impacted the style of play and some would argue not for the better, but that's not his fault that he's just an assassin behind the arc.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's point guards. Shooting guards looks a little more.
It's kind of hard to take this away.
Yeah, this one, Jerry West, Dwayne Wade, Kobe, and MJ. I'm pretty solid with 3 of those 4, and you'd have to give me a good argument against Dwayne Wade. But Jordan, Kobe, and Jerry West, those are your 3 of your icons of the game. I don't see any of those 3 being taken off. I'm trying to think of another 2 that would be that you.
Scottie Pippen would be my next one, but then I put Scottie Pippen the same way that I put Dwayne Wade. Which one do you want?
Because
they made the other people around them good.
But Pippen would never. He wasn't a 2. He would be considered a 3.
He would go 3.
Yeah, he'd be a small forward. I'm trying to think if there's another.
How about Clyde Drexler?
That's not a bad choice. That's not a bad choice.
Not bad.
He would not be one of my tops. So.
Why not?
Huh? I think he was more to himself. I just don't put him. I mean, I know Kevin, he's going to say, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But, that's just me. I like these 4. And then if I had to have a number 5, I would probably, and I don't mean that in no bad way, I'd bring in Scottie Pippen as my number 2. But anyway.
How about Joe Dumars from the Bad Boys?
Mm-hmm. Joe Dumars was good.
Yep.
Actually, okay, here's somebody that we're forgetting. And this might go back to
Chauncey Billups.
Well,
I like Chauncey Billups.
This might go.
But he's not in this group here.
Do you consider him a 1 or a 2? Allen Iverson.
Iverson would be decent. I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Pistol Pete.
Yes.
Allen Iverson.
Yes, that's another one I saw.
Yeah, Allen Iverson's another one that could be a 1 or a 2 for sure.
George Gervin.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
There's the thing about these Mount Rushmore things, man. It's just hard when guys play in different eras and never played against each other, and then this guy won a championship, this guy didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely hard to get it down to 4.
Yeah,
when you think about it, because you can make an argument for a lot of guys.
Pistol Pete's a good choice too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Pistol Pete died young. It sucks.
Yeah, it is. So I think Jordan, Kobe, and West are pretty solid on that list. Moving. So looking at our small forwards, you've got Larry Bird, LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Elgin Baylor. That's a pretty solid group. That I have, and the only argument I could make is Kevin Durant being is he out of position, but
he was 6'11", wasn't he?
Yeah. He looked like he's almost. They showed a picture of him standing next to Joel Embiid, and they're like the same height. But he played outside a lot. So
could you argue that Scottie Pippen was a small forward? Terry argues the shooting guard.
I would say he was the small forward. He was their 3 when Jordan was the 2. So I would say Pippen was a small forward. And you could make an argument about him. I think Bird and LeBron. People forget how good Elgin Baylor was. Baylor once George Mikan was initially the first big superstar when the NBA was just a fledgling league. The next after Mikan kind of went down before Wilt and the Celtics took over and really became the faces of the league. Elgin Baylor is who really carried the league or was the face of the league between that time.
Nowadays, what do you call a small forward? I mean, you got LeBron,
would you call Dr. J a small forward?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's not on. He's not on any of the Mount Rushmores, is he? Dr. J.
Yeah, he would be considered a small forward. Dominique Wilkins,
Moses Malone.
Well, he'd be a center. Malone would be considered a center.
Would he?
Yes.
Dominique, man.
He's what, 6'10", 6'11"?
But was
LeBron 6'9"?
Just a brick. LeBron's not a good comparison. LeBron's like the wrong person to try to compare heights to. So, all right, looking. All right, now here's where things got interesting. Here's where things got a little sporty last night in our conversation. So this is their Mount Rushmore power forwards: Karl Malone, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, and Tim Duncan. There was one name I think that pretty much all of us came to a consensus and said, how do you not have him on this list? And that's Mr. Barkley.
No championships. That's why it's not on the list.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, how many championships does he have? And I know what Kevin's going to say, but he played in an era where Michael Jordan was dominant.
Yeah. Well,
So,
Malone never got a
Malone
championship.
doesn't have any championships either. But you could argue that, and then some people would question his work ethic as well.
Yes.
So that would be reasons why he wouldn't be on there.
But every time I hear, I mean, Barkley has to have his credit of him playing the game the way he played it. Because even when he played Michael, you remember, even the documentary, he come out and said, there's nobody out here better than me. And he was talking about Michael.
He said it just recently, a
That's
few
what
weeks
I'm
ago.
saying.
Yeah.
You know, he says, I was convinced no player out in this league is better than me. And he's talking Barkley. You know, he said, until I played him. And then he finally come out at the end and said, I might have one guy that may be better than me. You know,
he said he told his daughter. He was like, when they were in the finals. He when he went to Phoenix, he said, "I've got the supporting cast. Nobody's been better than me. I'm gonna and I'm gonna prove it this year." And they got to the finals. He says, "I'm gonna shoot. Nobody's better than me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show it." And they and he said, by the end of the finals, he went to his daughter and he said, "Sweetheart, I've never said this before. That man might be better than me."
But didn't he lead the Dream Team?
That's
2 years
Zach. I got your reference, Zach. Yes, he was their leading scorer in the initial Dream Team.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's.
But then again, you know, he's on TV, and I know that some people, like Kevin, really enjoys Barkley's commentary on TV.
Yeah.
But you know, some people don't.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. That's true.
So because he's on
It's like
TV
on here.
and he's out there, anybody who just happens to like, I don't like some of the things he says on TV. Now they're going to leave him off. the
Well,
top four.
and part of it, his persona and some of his behavior and antics when he was a player, especially early on in Philadelphia. The a lot of people can't get past the spitting on the little girl at one of the games. That's my dad. That's the first thing my dad brings up whenever you mention Charles Barkley is
we all have low points
Right.
in our life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we all have those low points. In
But
our life.
even on these, and when you go over and you say Karl Malone, well, Karl Malone picked his best 5, and Michael Jordan wasn't even on it.
Right. Well, that's
So, I mean, you know,
yeah.
and all that
That's
is
sour
a
grapes.
pet peeve.
That's sour
That's
grapes.
all that is.
That's my
he
man
kept a
took.
championship away
He
from
was
me.
good. He was good enough to not let you win one or two,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
that's
So-
all that was. But when Karl Malone picked his top 5, Michael Jordan didn't even make it.
So there's several others on this. There's a guy that Bob Pettit's one that's mentioned. There's a guy from way back in the day that people say gets forgotten about. And I don't know if y'all recognize his name, Nate Thurman.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of him. He looks like a bodybuilder. I mean, he's just cut, just ripped, and just there's pictures of Kareem guarding him, and Kareem just looks like he just looks like a toothpick compared to this guy. He was supposed to be an impressive ball player to watch. So yeah, I think this is this position is easily the one that is up for debate the best. And then rounding out, looking at centers, this is where I agree with Tom. It's difficult to narrow it down to just 4, especially. You've got, and I knew Kevin would hate this listing. You've got Kareem, Bill Russell, Wilt, and Shaq. And I knew the minute I saw this, I was like, that's a good list. But if Kevin sees this, there's no way he's going to say that Akeem Olajuwon shouldn't be on this list. And I
Hakeem Olajuwon,
have a hard time.
Shaquille.
Well, Shaq's there.
Yeah.
He's there. So I just that's a hard. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain to me is the most impressive center.
It's
I've
kind
ever
of hard
watched.
to take anybody above Wilt.
Yeah.
Playing against Bill Russell, but Bill Russell won all the championships.
That's right.
But there's a difference there. Maybe Bill Russell had better people around him.
I think Russell had a better supporting cast, but he also was. I mean, even Wilt said this. It was like Ali Frazier. He said that Russell was like his kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell was not nearly as big as Wilt. Wilt
No.
might have been as close to 7'3", 7'4", but Bill Russell was only like maybe 6'8", 6'9", but Russell had an extremely wide wingspan, which allowed him to be a much more dominant on the boards than and also be a much more of a defensive presence. Kareem obviously his resume speaks for itself. Shaq was an overpowering force in a lot of ways, but again, I agree. I understand Kevin's point, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. It's hard to keep Olajuwon off of this list. He's just such an all-around impressive player at the 5 spot, and most would argue that he got the best of Shaq when they faced each other one-on-one more times than not.
And I like it because we got a lot of people listening to us. I know. Friend of mine, Jason Barber, sends in. He said, when you're thinking about the 2 guard, Reggie Miller could easily be put in as a number 2.
Yeah. It's difficult not to include, and I go back again. Y'all already mentioned him earlier. George Mikan, he gets forgotten. And again, I think we've had so many great centers in the game. I don't know if I'd put him in the top 4, but people don't realize how much better than the rest of the league George Mikan was when he was playing. He was the face of the NBA when it was first started. Kind of like he was like the Johnny Unitas of the NBA. So it's impressive. But yeah, and Tom's point, you got these guys when you start talking about different eras. It makes it fun. It's challenging to try to figure out who's better than what. Who's better than who. But anyway, saw that list and I just thought it was impressive.
They will spend hours and hours arguing about that stuff.
So, any news from Cleveland offseason with the Cavs? Any the latest thing going on?
I mean, the Ball signing, the trade where they sent Okoro there. This is the last really I've seen, because you get to August, man, football starts dominating the headlines. And you know what? The NBA preseason is not too far away.
No.
It's really not. When the preseason?
October.
Yeah, it'll start. It's not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll ramp back up. But I'm just interested to see if the Hornets can get north of 40 wins this year.
We'll see about that. Yeah.
I hope they do.
Do you think Ball's going to mesh well with Mitchell?
Hard to say.
Just wait and see.
Wait and see. We'll see.
Anything from Boston, Terry?
No, we just got rid of everybody. We'll come back after this year.
You'll see how things are going at that point. Yeah, but we'll wait and see how things are going in Charlotte as well. Well, that we did real quick on the basketball segment. We're going to come back. We still got baseball and football. We've got Kevin Kahn. I see your comment and wants us to talk a little bit about college football as we get amped up. Football season is almost upon us. Stay tuned, folks. You're listening Saturday Morning Shock Joxx on KDC Broadcasting. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
The $1,000 Great Gas Card giveaway is back. It's a chance for you to win one of 10 $100 gas cards. Register to win today at Iron Station Country Store.